Welcome back to the Corey Bak'n Show. In today's episode, we're going to go over the veg corner. We're only using a 2x4. The 2x2 still isn't ready. I have actually some seeds. I'm going to show you those in a second. They're in a cup. I dropped them in a cup of water with a little hydrogen peroxide to assist with the breaking of the shell. And later today, I'm going to put those in some paper towels. Normally don't do the paper towel soaking and all that. I normally just take the seed, drop it straight into the soil and let it go. But this time I only have one of each one of those seeds. So I wanted to make sure I guaranteed myself some the root broke out the seed and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna show you those in a second, but I wanted to go over these. The veg over here, I took a couple clones and I just had an accident with these, and I'm gonna explain what I did. And also to Growpeaceful. I got a new tag. Jeremy from Growpeaceful sent me a new label out, and I got a new fresh label, one of the Gigawatt, even though we're almost done. I think the day is, I'm gonna do the math on that in a second, let you know what day it is. But let's go over each one. Let's start over here with the veg section first. Again, I think I told you last week what the strains were. There's a blue milk up in here. There's a Pulp Fiction, Orange Cello, Biscotti Mint, Full of Funk, which is my strain, and the Sour Power, Pheno number 2. This is the blue milk here, I believe the small one, yeah. The blue milk, Sour Power, Pheno number 2, Orange Cello right here, Biscotti Mint right here. Right behind Biscotti Mint is the Pulp Fiction, and all the way back here in this corner is that Full of Funk, my cut. Everything's looking great. They got watered this morning, just straight water. That's why I wasn't really impressed with showing you me watering this. They just get nothing but water today. The last time I gave them just a little bit of something. Again, this soil's been not supercharged, but re-amended. So it's still quite a bit still in that soil, so it doesn't need a lot. Plants are doing good. The Sour Power, which is, I'm gonna get you in here closer in just a second. It droops every time I water that thing. That plant there, it produces a lot, but it does not take a lot of nutrients and water. You will water that every other time versus the other plants that you'll have in your tent. And she never gets that big, but she produces some hard, real tasty buds. I was just smoking on some of that a little while ago, and that's the dynamite sugar. Even though she doesn't get that fucking big, it's something that I'm probably going to keep around for a little while. So that's going to probably wind up being a mother plant. That's what all these are supposed to be, mother plants. I believe what was it? The blue milk, the Biscotti Mint, the Pulp Fiction, and I'm not sure of the Orange Cello. It's going to go back there in my 4x4. It's empty right now in the laundry room, bro. I need to put something in there, and I like these strains right here. Now the Orange Cello I have growing in a 2x2.5 Gorilla tent. You've seen that one behind the curtain, and I don't like the way she grows. Even though I over-vegged her and I'm growing her out in that tent by herself, the structure of the buds are not big. These here, and I'm gonna go over this in just a second, are the top buds on this are bigger. That smells good. Than that over there. Again, I don't like the structure of her, but I'm going to give her at least one more run. So I'm probably going to run that in there with these other plants here. Put the 4 of them in there and let them go on the 4x4. The Full of Funk and that Sour Power there, I have space in a 2x4 coming up. I got a couple plants in there drying. I took down today. I harvested the blueberry muffins and the Hella Jelly because they are only 46-day strains. And the day was, I think, day 51 with those, or something like that. So we cut those down and they are hanging and drying. And the other 2x4, we still have the Gary Payton growing in there, and that is in week 7. But that's a 9-week strain, so we got a couple more weeks with that one, so I had to leave that one in there. But yeah, for these other 2 back here, one of them will wind up, and I believe it's going to be that Sour Power in that 2x2.5 Gorilla tent, because I'll be harvesting that Orange Cello in the next couple weeks. So I'm gonna put that in a 3-gallon or a 5-gallon pot, plastic bag, and put that in there. Let her grow in there by herself, and see what she can do. Nothing around her. I know she's not going to get very big, but the density of the buds and the taste, fantastic. Now for the fuller funk, I don't know. I might just take cuts of her, and just to keep the cut. Or yeah, I normally keep the cut, but I definitely would like to go in the bag of seeds of that I have it at, and try to find another pheno. I don't like this pheno is so stretchy. Fantastic smooth, but it's real stretchy. So, and again, it got watered this morning. That's why the leaves are drooping the way she is. But I would like to have something that doesn't stretch as bad as this one does, with better internodal spacing between the buds. But yeah, everything else in here is looking pretty damn good. Like the biscotti, man, it gets a nice size on it, but the internodal spacing is nice and tight, branching. So I could live with this here and work with this one. Take this other one off at the bottom. Same here with the blue milk, which is a little smaller than everything else in here, because I took this, I think, afterwards, or let me see. No, they all have the same date. Something must have went on with this one here. I don't remember right offhand. But it's rocking and rolling right now. It looks very good. So yeah, the 4 of those, I'm gonna go ahead and flip those. If not flipping the flower, we'll put them in the 4x4. Put that one there, that Sour Power Pheno number 2, over in the 2x2. And just maybe take a cut or two of that full of funk and run that later on this summer, spring, something like that. Or when one of the other tents come freed up, I might toss her in there and run it. But that's what I have for you with those plants there. Now here, I took cuts of, this is the granny apple fritters. And I took these cuts just yesterday off of the plant that I have grown in a 5x5 in the Growpeaceful Air Cube system. I have one granny apple fritters growing in there. It needs some really damn good cuts. I took some nice ones. But when I was in here, I watered these earlier, and I let them, once I water them, I let them sit for a little while, make sure all the water runs off, gonna run off. Then I come back with my wet dry vac, and I suck up the excess water that develops down here. Well, today when I went to do it, I had these sitting right here like this, and they look much better than that than they do now at that time. And I reached down, I sucked the water out right here, and then I turned my head to see what was going on back over here, that I heard something, and then realized I had turned the vacuum handle, towards the plant, and it sucked all 3 of them right up through the wet dry vac and into the wet dry vac reservoir. So I had to get them out of there, rinse them off, and then I put them back in. They look a little rough, but I believe I'll have no problem cloning those. I need to get those in some clones, some root rot, the cubes today, and up into the Floraflex breeding tray, or the clone dome. That's what the clone dome. Sorry about that. But yeah, let me get you off the tripod, get you a closer look, and let's go over there, see Growpeaceful Gigawatt. And this is what the veg girls look like. The 1-gallon pots, the ones I just mentioned. And here's a closer look at them beat up clones that I got down in here now. But they'll survive, no problem. But yeah, all these here looking nice and healthy. Leaves are nice and healthy looking, no deficiencies. And again, they just got watered. So that's why the top of the soil there is a little wet, and it's still got a little water, but that'll be dried up on its own in a second. But yeah, you can see all the soil is wet, and these plants are doing fantastic. That one there, like I said, water her, she droops. She'll droop like that for a day or two, she'll stand back up. I'll water these other ones at least one more time before I'll water that one again. And that's just how she goes. But again, she's definitely a keeper, man. She got some dynamite smoke on her. That's Sour Power Pheno number 2. My Pheno number 1 stretches, but this Pheno number 2 stays squat with thick, hard, dense buds at the end. And you know, like I said, I was smoking it earlier. She's definitely a keeper. But yeah, that's what these veg plants look like. Got some red stem going on. on that full of funk. Definitely need some magnesium. But yeah, here's the veg plants. Now let's swing over to the Gigawatt. As you can see, I got a new label. They just sent out to me, the updated version. And the tape below you, and I mentioned this in past videos, is the date I started the seed, February 12th. Came up out of the soil, February 15th. 70 days later would be April 26th. And as you can see on the label down there, it goes from 70 to 85 days. So at day 70, I'm gonna do it maybe 5 or 6 days prior to that. Start checking the trichomes on the plant. But by day 70, I'll definitely come in, take a look at the trichomes, and then we'll just go from there. Now, as I mentioned last week in the video, so we had some yellowing of the leaves. I still got a couple leaves that didn't turn completely back, but that's what they look like now. But everything else went all the way back to green like it should, and it looks nice and healthy now. And when that happened, the buds started developing like they should. So now they're starting to develop and get nice and fat. So yeah, nice frost level on it. This is the very top of it. So there's a hell of an aroma on it. That citrusy thing going on with it. So nice and frosty. But yeah, once we put a little recharge, and I did add a little, what is that, fish plant food? It's like fish emulsion to it, for a little nitrogen, a little extra nitrogen, get these leaves back to being green. She recovered perfectly. So now the day's watering was just strictly water. I didn't give her anything extra. I gave her that the recharge when I first got back. A few days later, I added the fish emulsion to that watering, and then today is just strictly water. So yeah, but she recovered beautifully, and the buds are definitely developing nicely. And I believe this is day 53 or 51, somewhere in that ballpark. From the time she popped up out of the soil. So let me do the math real quick. She came up out of the soil on February the 15th. This was a leap year, went to day 29, so that's 14 days to the end of the month. The whole month of March is 31. It's 31 and 14 is 45. The day is April the 9th, so add 9 days onto that, so we day 54. Day 54 flower. But yeah, day 54, she's looking fantastic. And again, 2 more weeks before we even consider taking her down. So we got definitely some good time to develop some more on these nice sized buds here. I love how the fact they get nice and frosty, man. Yeah, but again, the Growpeaceful is definitely doing her thing. See quite a few people are purchasing it. Appreciate that. Definitely looks like something that we, from what you can see, us, the different growers are growing this in this same particular strain. That look like it might be something that can keep around. Now, definitely give them a shot, because they got 5 new strains that they put out. So check them out, man. They the Autoflower thing is something I'll be keeping around in the future. I'll definitely probably eventually designate one of these tents or get another tent and just call it the Autoflower tent. So I like how they just, can have it harvest in less than 3 months. So I like that. So we throw 3 of them in a 2x4, let them rock, or 2 of them. In this case, if you had 2 of these, or probably even 3 here in this 2x4, it'll be enough space for them to rock out. Yeah, so yeah, man. So that's what I have for you in this week's episode. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, Stay baking.